Every year on September the 14th, the Catholic Church celebrates the feast of the Exaltation of the Holy Cross, together with the Orthodox Church and other Christian denominations. According to tradition, Saint Helena, mother of the Emperor Constantine, during a pilgrimage to the Holy Land, discovered fragments of the true cross. On September the 14th of 326 AD, Helen delivered the relic to the Bishop of Jerusalem, who, lifting it up before the faithful, invited them to adore it. For its part, the Feast of the Exaltation of the Cross is universally celebrated in all of the Church. On the other hand, we see how the different local churches live this day in very different ways, as a result of their own history, culture, and popular devotion. This is the case also for the Feast of the Holy Cross of the Miracles of El Bonillo, Spain. For almost 4 centuries, on the 14th of September, the faithful of El Bonillo go out into the streets to venerate the image of this wooden crucifix that, according to tradition, traveled from Rome to the heart of Spain's Castilla-La Mancha region, working miracles along the way. The history of this extraordinary voyage starts on July the 8th, 1623. In Rome, Pope Gregory XV was dying, and before breathing his last breath, he bequeathed an oil-painted walnut cross to his spiritual director, a Franciscan from El Bonillo.
The most holy Christ of the miracles is the cross Pope Gregory XV kept in his cell, on the headboard of his bed. And after his death, it was passed on to a Franciscan that attended to him spiritually. That Franciscan was from this town of Bonillo.
During his stay in El Bonillo, the Franciscan Carralero stayed 3 days in the home of Anton Diaz, a humble farmer, and as a sign of thanksgiving, gave him the crucifix. Years later, on March the 4th, 1640, Anton Diaz was kneading dough in his house. Looking towards the image of Christ hanging in his room, he saw that it was sweating. Conscious that there was no humidity and it wasn't hot, he went to the convent of the Augustinians in the city to tell them what had happened. After noting that the sweat was only on the figure of Christ and not on the cross or behind it, he was taken to the church of Santa Catalina of El Bonillo, where it was locked within the main altar. 2 weeks went by, and despite the cold, the sweat hadn't dried. After this first event, numerous miracles happened that were attributed to the intercession of the Holy Cross, and finally, in April of 1641, the Diocese of Toledo approved them, and since then, the cross has been on display in the Church of El Bonillo as a destination for numerous pilgrimages. This is only one example of the multiple popular expressions that converge in the universal devotion of Christians to the cross, where human misery and God's mercy meet, thus beginning the history of salvation.